In this video, I will show you how you can draw 7 different crying emotes for Twitch and Discord. Brushes, tools, and projects are in the description. Let's get started. You're going to create a canvas using the 500 by 500 pixel size. I'm going to share with you the brushes that I will be using the most. All the links can be found in my description. I'm going to be starting with the sketch brush from my Jing sketch brush set. I always start with the circle, and what's great with Procreate is that when you hold the circle, it creates a perfect circle for you, or an ellipse, which you can adjust, and I think it's always great to have a circle as your starting base when you're drawing a face. I'm gonna do a pretty rough sketch on how I want my first expression to look like, and usually when it's a crying emote, the eyes are really big. My second emote will actually be using the same pose as the first character, and the only thing that is going to change is the facial expression. So this is a really great way for you if you want to create a lot of emotes, but you don't want to keep drawing the same pose over and over. Just duplicate your sketch of the direction that your emote is facing, and then change the position of the arms or expression of the face, and then you can easily go from 1 to 7 different emotes in a shorter amount of time. So using the same character pose, I was able to change the expression from looking straight to facing upwards, and now slightly tilting downwards. And with that, I already have 3 different expressions that I can use for a crying emote. This one looks a little plain, but I promise it is not going to look like this at the end. Another tip I have is if you're trying to create more emotes in volume, you can have the same eyes in the same direction of the expression, but the mouth is opened and the other emote has a closed mouth. This can actually save your process and time by a lot. And it also sets a pretty good base for if you ever want to do animated emotes. So similar to having multiple variations of emotes, if you have an open mouth and a closed mouth, you can also have open eyes and closed eyes. And with that, you can actually have 4 different combinations of emotes just with opening and closing your mouth or your eyes. So we're now done with the sketches. I'm going to rename them so that I know that they're all different expressions, which is a good practice to have, but if you were doing this on different canvases, then it wouldn't really matter. But I would suggest that you do it all on one canvas, because you can reuse some of the colors and line art that you already did, so that can help you save some time in this area too. When you first start streaming or setting up a server, getting emotes out there for your viewers and members of your community is really exciting, and these are just some ways that can help you expedite that process so you don't feel like your community is waiting a long time for you to put emotes out. So now that my line art is done, I'm going to start doing the line art for each individual expression, because the outer line art will be the same for all of the emotes. Luckily, this expression is pretty simple to outline, so I'm going to put my layer settings somewhere on the video, and you can play around with them to see what you feel works best for you. But this is what I do to add the sparkle effect to the eyes so that it looks like it's kind of like pleading but also crying at the same time. And I find that this works best for me when I either use the outline brush or the soft brush. I use yellow and then white because when you use the add layer on top of each other multiple times, it gives this really glowy effect, but I think it's worth trying different colors as well to see if you feel like there's a different color that suits your style better. Those are basically the main steps I take when it comes to coloring the expression, and it's not a cry emote without tears, so I'm going to show you how I draw and color tears on emotes, which I think is the thing that probably took me the longest because I had to do different tear patterns for different emotes that face upward or downward, or their eyes are in a different position. So I think that's the one thing about tears or crying emotes, is that you kind of have to move the tears based on where you position the eyes. Something I do is I actually rearrange the layer of where my tears go, and instead of having it under my line art layer, I have it above so that the tears look like they're flowing down the side of the cheek and then onto the chin instead of it looking a little more flat. I ended up adding just a base color to my emote so that I can kind of see and visualize better how my expression looks. Plus, I also really wanted to just complete that bald One Punch Man bald emote vibe, which I think is pretty cute, and I kind of want to make a set like this. For the rest of this video, it's mainly just going to be me speed painting through the rest of the emotes, but I will leave some comments here and there to remind you what my layer settings are or how to make your work process a little more efficient. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. I try my best to answer everyone's questions, so please don't be shy and feel free to ask whatever comes to your mind. this takes us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, even if you skimmed through parts to kind of look for what you needed. I hope this was helpful to you in some small way, shape, or form. And if you did enjoy what you saw, it would be really great and helpful if you give me a thumbs up or subscribe or leave a comment. And I hope I will see you next time. Thank you!